You always look on at the US elections in awe of the scale of the process and the length of the process, and I marvel at anyone who's left standing at the end of it.
Fortunately, we're term limited. So I too can look in awe at the process.
By Election Day, the 2016 presidential campaign will have lasted almost 600 days. And we have the scars to prove it. What's that line? Sheryl just fell asleep. Now there's a concerted effort to change that, led in part by 9-time Grammy winner Sheryl Crow. She has launched an online petition to shorten the election calendar. And writes this for the Huffington Post. I can't wait for this election to end. I know I'm not alone in this. I don't think our country can or should tolerate another 2 years of this kind of disgraceful and vicious discourse. Although we will all be leaving this election behind us in November, hallelujah, we can count on being hijacked again in 2 years when the next presidential campaign cycle begins in earnest. I don't want that for my kids, my community, or my country. So I've started a petition to limit the campaign season. I am hoping everyone who is sick of what we have all just been subjected to will join me and sign the petition. Where's the paper?
Change.org/make it short.
Oh my God, yes. I'm going online.
Please.
It's been long, but you know, it's not like you've just jumped. You kind of grown up immersed in politics or surrounded by it.
I have.
You've followed it.
First of all, I have to say hello to Bernice and Wendell Crow and Wyatt and Levi because we watch this show every morning. Yes.
All right.
Say hello.
Yes. No, I grew up in a household that was very informed and lots of conversation. Now, I grew up I'm a dinosaur, but we had Walter Cronkite.
Oh,
we had the debates,
we
had the newspaper, and we had conversations.
Exactly.
So I was always privy to who was running, and my mom's side and my dad's side, and was always, you know, always well-versed in politics, and I've loved it. I mean, as you know, I used to blog all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But I haven't done that in a while.
So since then and now, what do you think has changed?
Well, this has been an unusual scenario in that the candidates, well, I guess Ted Cruz, 600 days ago, came out and decided he would run and announce his candidacy.
600, you know, it only seems like 600 days ago.
It's like 600 years, but okay.
I think social media has had a large play in it. I also think 24-hour news. I think two years of anything can only benefit the news media, and political consultants, and people who run elections. We're definitely not talking about anything new. And here in the last month, we've been talking about polls, and so I feel like we're at a point now where it's become entertainment value as
white
opposed
noise
to
too.
Yes,
like people are tuning out, don't you?
And
think?
a lot of angst and vitriol, and just, you know.
Is that the election length or the candidates though?
Well, certainly we are where we are as a country, and this petition isn't going to change the quality of the candidates. It's not going to change. I mean, there are lots of things I would love to address. Money in elections. I would love to see term limits. This isn't going to touch any of that, but this is a means for us to say, look, we do not want this anymore, and we need to sit down in a thoughtful manner and figure out, taking freedom of speech into account, how to shorten the length. And if this were on the ballot right now as an issue, I guarantee you it would pass.
Overwhelming.
That's what I was going to say. Everyone listening to you right now, I'd probably 100% saying yes, 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 yes. So the question is, how do you get from here to there?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you think we could do to shorten this cycle up?
Well, it's tricky. I mean, obviously, freedom of speech comes into play. If you told Ted Cruz right now on November 10th, you can't throw your name into the hat, he would say...
He's running already.
Right.
I think there are people that will always be running. Like I said, I'm not a policymaker. I think we have to do this thoughtfully. We might even look at what other countries do to keep their elections short. I think when we get to the point where it's 2 years, it's no longer civilized.
I love Britain. 38 days. Somebody stands up and, like, in Parliament, it says, I don't have, you know, have a no confidence vote. Resolve it.
I'm going to propose 5 days. 3 of those would be the debates. Yeah, I mean, it's
38 days.
It's going to, well, and clearly England is a lot smaller than the United States, and we have a primary system. And you know, originally I thought, let's put all the primaries on one day, but then that really takes those who run a grassroots movement like what Obama did. he could not possibly run against someone who's self-funded. So we have to be thoughtful about this, but the objective here is to figure out a way to reform our system.
I'm just wondering if that could ever come to pass. Given the exorbitant cost of a presidential campaign and the fact that you alluded to, there are people who make so much money off of presidential campaigns, consultants, TV ad buyers. It's almost like a vested industry within itself. I don't know that it can be stopped, although the vast majority of the public would want the campaigns shortened.
I think that the petition is a means for people saying, look, we matter, and people on Capitol Hill represent us. We are the constituency, and you must listen to us, and it is up to you to figure out a way to do this. Now, whether it infringes on freedom of speech to say political TV ads can only be run from this moment forward, that does happen in other countries. We just have to look at this from the standpoint of, if we can't run a civilized campaign within a certain amount of time, then what should we do about this? Because at a certain point, it's no longer about the issues. In fact, I would go out on a limb and say this has been an election like I've never seen, where it's been less about issues than any other campaign I've ever seen.
Yeah. What issues? They just aren't out
What
there.
do they stand for? Say your mom's name.
My mom is Bernice.
Bernice.
And Bernice watches every day, huh?
Every day.
Here's a picture of Bernice back in 1953.
Yeah, 53 or 54. She was either 16 or 17. We're still debating it, but she won the American Legion Fair contest and got to escort our Missouri president to the American Legion Fair. And that picture in that frame hung in my hallway my whole life, and every kid that knew me got paraded by that picture. And it was a big deal. It was the president of the United States.
It's a massive deal.
That's incredible.
This
How
is what I
cool.
would like to see. I would like to see my children look at the office of the President of the United States as being something honorable, and we have got to get back to a place where we're speaking in more reasonable.
We're a long way from there.
We are a long
So
way.
your mom and dad both watch, or is it a split household? Do you have a Republican
No, my
and a
father
Democrat?
is now a Democrat, really, since the
Well.
Reagan years. So,
That's nice.
yes, it takes the pressure off me. But now, let me say, I do want to say one thing, and that is a lot of people guess that they know my politics, and I have been, as you know, pretty outspoken. I have not, in this election, been out on the campaign trail. I've been quiet. This petition is simply an appeal from a Midwestern mom.
Yeah.
A single working mom who dives for the remote control before my kids can turn the TV on and see something that I'm going to have to explain.
Right.
And if there are people that don't sign this petition because it's my name on it, I just want to say, this is a movement that is bigger than me.
Well, and you know, you've shown great restraint in this interview. You've avoided a couple of opportunities that a lot of other people would have taken.
Yeah.
And so that's very obvious that for you, it's not about Republicans or Democrats or Trump or Clinton or anybody, or even this campaign. It's about a bigger issue.
It is. And to be perfectly honest, it's made me really sad.
No.
The rhetoric and even just the divisiveness in my own community. I live in Nashville, which is a fantastic place to live. Please don't move there. And a reasonable place, and people care about issues. They care about their families, and it's created a real nervousness, and it's taken some of the reason out of the dialogue. So I would like to see it become a shorter campaign.
You got 2 weeks to
The petition
go.
is available
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
13 days.
.org.
13 days?
Let's do that.
2 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Sheryl Crow, thank you so much. It's great to see you again.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Sheryl.
I'll see you tomorrow
Take care.
morning.
We want to come to
I'll be in my
Nashville.
pajamas, but I will see you.
Yes, I'm jealous. Nashville, and she has chickens.
Does she?
But don't move there.
I want to
But don't move there. It's a
I wanna
terrible
live
place
there.
to live. Do not move there.
She so doesn't mean that. Still ahead this morning, new numbers from 2 key swing states and what they mean for Donald Trump's narrow path to the presidency. Plus,
Mr. President, when did you first learn that Hillary Clinton used an email system outside the U.S. government for official business while she was Secretary of State?
At the same time, everybody else learned it through news reports.
that was President Obama last year. But the latest WikiLeaks dump suggests the president may have known about Hillary Clinton's email server before it became a front-page story. Morning Joe is back in a moment.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.